This is Heaven's Milky Way, live in her parents' bedroom, here to talk about relationships again. Now, I almost want to say, anytime you see me in my pink glasses, we're going to talk about relationships. But that might not always be the case. But this time, it is true. So I'm just here on a chill day. I got my Jonas Brothers t-shirt on, got my hair in two little pom-pom things. But we're going to get right down to business. I received an email from Rebecca again, and she asked me to check out this song. Many of you may have heard of it. It's called Average Girl by Barlowgirl. And I had actually heard of the song before. And so this video is going to get into the subject of that song covers. Oh dear, so what happened was kind of sad. I just totally recorded, busted all of this awesome stuff. Well, my camera wasn't recording, but that's okay. I'm just going to say it again. So basically the most popular line, I guess, from the song is no more dating. I'm just waiting. And what's the other one? Like Sleeping Beauty, my prince will come for me. That is where I kind of put on the brakes just a little bit. I'm not saying the song is bad. I'm not saying don't listen to the song. I'm not saying that there's a problem with the song. I just think this is where some specification needs to come in. If you are going to be a waiter, meaning a person that's going to wait and you're not going to date, I think it's important to note that Sleeping Beauty is a princess, right? And so I know she got cast under some magical spell and fell into a deep sleep, and the prince came and kissed her and woke her up, blah, blah, blah. So I think that the choice of Sleeping Beauty might not have been the best in this case, unless you're going to specify. If you're going to wait, you need to wait in the Lord, which means that you need to wait in faith. Me personally, I do not think that this is the time to go to sleep. I think they needed to specify what they were meaning by saying, I'm going to sleep. Sleep is the thing for me right now. I don't agree. I think that the thing for you to do if you're going to be a waiter is to get on your knees and call in what is not as though it was. This is the time to be in faith, not be in the... I think that, you can't just be like, Lord Jesus, send me my husband. Okay, thanks, bye. No. You have to stand in faith. You have to claim it. You have to believe that you received what you don't have yet. And I think that that is what you need to be doing. You need to call the things that are not as though they were. You need to stand in faith, and you need to believe and believe for your husband. And pray over him and be like, Lord, I thank you that you are going to send me my husband. And I pray that you would give him wisdom and guidance to find me. And he is going to find me. And a lot of girls are like, oh, Prince is going to come. He's going to find me. But you will know that your husband is going to find you. Why? Because you are praying instead of sleeping. This is all in the little analogy. You need to pray. This is not the time to go to sleep. It's the time to pray. I'm not sure what they meant by sleep, but I'm just making it known that if you are going to be a waiter, then you need to be in consistent thankfulness, thanking the Lord and praying for your husband that he's going to find you, and that wisdom and knowledge and praying over your future relationship if you are going to wait. Now, another thing that I want to touch on is that dating seems to be getting kind of a bad rap. Now, I understand some people are like, I don't want to date because I want to avoid getting hurt, which is all cool, but I want you guys to realize I am a personal example that just because you don't date doesn't mean that you won't get hurt, unfortunately. Yeah, because I never dated, but I still, gotten hurt by crushes and etc. You don't plan on getting hurt, but I'm just saying that you don't necessarily have to be in a relationship to get hurt. And I also want to say that dating is not necessarily a bad thing, and I think that it gets a bad rap. Some people, when you're dating incorrectly and you're just going from flower to flower, oh, I don't like this. Yeah, it's practicing for divorce, but there are many pros to dating. There are pros and there are cons to dating. If you don't want to date, cool. But I want people who aren't opposed to dating to not feel guilty and are like, well, not dating is the Christian way. Like, no, you shouldn't date. No, 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 no. If you want to date, do so, but have God in the center of it. Like, don't date. Wait. No, no, no. Whatever you're going to do it unto the Lord. If you're going to wait, wait in the Lord. Wait in faith. Commune with God and just ask Him to give you patience and just pray for your husband. Don't go to sleep. I don't know if that's what they meant, but don't go to sleep. This is the time where you need to stand firmly in the faith and pray and believe. If you're going to date with God's wisdom. Date in God. Let Him guide your relationships. Let Him pull everything together. Let Him be the center of the relationships that you are going to get into. Now, most of the time when people get into a relationship, they're getting into a relationship with someone that they could see themselves with potentially for a long time. Like, I don't think anybody hops into a relationship to be like, okay, well, 2 weeks later, we're going to break up. No, because that's intentional. Like, I wouldn't do that. Maybe some people do. But most of the time, I believe that people get into a dating relationship because they are interested in that person, and they think that possibly along the way, here comes the bride. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time. But you know what? Dating is not a bad thing if done correctly. When you date and God is in the center of it, you have the upper hand because He can lead and guide you on what to do. He can lead and guide you in decisions. Dating isn't bad if it's done correctly. And so if you're going to date, just do so with wisdom. Like, use wisdom. I could probably make a whole separate video on dating, but some of the cons, like if you dated, don't feel guilty. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, when you leave a relationship or something like that, okay, this is going to get me going and going because, yeah. Anyway, when you leave a relationship, you can take what you've learned. Like, you now know how to react in other situations that are similar, and you can recognize, and you just have more skills to learn. Like, unfortunately, it didn't work out, but at the same time, you've learned new things, and you can take that to the next relationship, and that can give you the upper hand because you kind of know your way around, whereas someone who has not dated, they're going to have to learn eventually, whereas you've kind of already learned and experienced these things, and the Lord knows how experienced you're going to be when you meet your mate. He knows if you're going to date or wait. Like, He sees to infinity and beyond. He already knows who you're going to marry. So if you've already dated and you're like, oh, I don't want to date anymore, well, the Lord knows that, and He knows your experience, and He knows the person who's going to be able to handle your experience, like how experienced you are. It's just, so I just want to clarify that, no, I'm not trying to say anything bad about this song or about Barlowgirl. I just wanted to put another perspective on the table so that people could kind of maybe understand what the song was saying. I'm not positive. I'm not the artist, so I'm not sure, but I kind of wanted to put a different perspective out there, the waiting and dating side. I think it's kind of a personal choice, and yeah, there pretty much, and maybe clarify or shed some light on a topic that maybe if people are thinking, well, I don't have to do anything, God's just going to magically take care of it. No. And I also wanted to let the people, Christians who are dating, know that it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, it's your personal preference, and don't believe that not dating is the only Christian thing to do. Because I believe that you can date, and date healthily. Like, it depends. Dating is just a big topic. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I really do like to talk about relationships a lot. you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please send them to heavensmilkyway@gmail.com, or you can make your comment below, yo. Okay, well, I think I'm going to go. Peace. Adios. Now, you might want to know personally what my plans are. Am I a waiter or am I a dater? Well, I really don't know. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I don't think that I think that dating, when people get into a dating relationship, sorry that I'm like looking around. I thought, okay, I found a funny deal. When people get into a dating relationship, like, in the back of their, like, they are always hoping that it works out. Like, I don't think anybody plans on being like, this is going to end. It's just something that kind of happens. Like, for a relationship, it either works out or it doesn't. Like, there is no other option. You either continue dating and get married, or you break up. So, yes, that is a risk going into the dating experience, but if you date in God, He can show you who to date, and maybe He'll just lead you straight to your spouse. And I know a lot of people don't want to date because they're like, well, I don't want to get hurt, but I've gotten hurt and I haven't officially dated anybody. Like, ugh, it's annoying, but I'm just trying to be honest with you. Just because you don't officially date doesn't mean that you're not going to get hurt. So, dating can have its pros and cons. You know? Oh, but we're talking about me personally. I actually do not know. I'm kind of more I'm just doing God right now. Like, for me, I'm just standing in faith, believing for my husband. Me and my mom had a talk on the way up from school. She went to pick me up from college, like, not from high school. Yeah. Do I look like somebody said I look like I'm 16, but no, I'm in college. I'm a sophomore in college, so she was picking me up, and we had this conversation, and she was kind of stressing to me how you can't just sit back and be like, oh, God's gonna move, but you have to thank Him. Like, it's kind of difficult to explain for me to explain to you, but you can't just sit like a bone of log and be like, God's just going to magically bring my husband. No, you have to stand in faith and believe. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I've not officially, I've never dated anybody. So in an essence, I think that I'm smack dab in the middle because I'm believing and I'm standing in faith. But I think that I know that God's going to bring my husband. I'm standing in faith and I'm believing and I'm trusting in Him. But when people are, like, not dating, for me, in order to get to know the person that I'm even going to marry, I think we have to be in a relationship. So, yeah, and through that relationship, I think that we discover, hey, yes or no type thing. And the Lord will lead you and guide you in wisdom, but I'm going to have to date my mate. So right now, I'm not saying yes or no to either type thing. Like, I'm not going to say no to dating because, yeah. So we'll just see what happens at this point. In the end, whatever you do, if you choose to date, cool. If you choose to wait, cool. It's your personal preference. It really is. My opinion, you kind of have to date the person that is your mate. But, yeah. Anyway.